that it's good to have your camera off for now. If you want to put it on at the end of the presentation to ask questions, that's absolutely fine. But we are recording. So keep in mind that when we are recording, this might go online. So if you put on your camera, your face will be in the recording as well. So if you don't want that, just keep your camera off. Keep your microphone muted. At the end, obviously, when we do the question round, you can just go and put your voice on. But then again, it will be recorded. So if you are more comfortable putting it in the chat, just go ahead and do so. Kayo is in the chat. And you can ask any question at any time in the chat. And if Kayo thinks that he needs to interrupt me for that, he will. So don't worry about it too much. Welcome. Let me first introduce myself. I'm Ruth. I'm one of the teachers within INM, Industrial Engineering and Management. I have been with the program up from the beginning, so I helped putting it together, and next year we're going to start our first time 4th year. So I'm really excited about seeing the first graduates within about a year. I teach courses like sustainability, communication, research skills, and some other courses, but I'm not going to bore you with everything that I do. I think it's way more interesting to figure out and discover what you will be doing when you join us. Kayo, would you like to introduce yourself as well? That would be nice.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kayo. I am second year industrial engineering management student, going to the 3rd year. If God, allows me to do it. I'm going to do my minor now. I'm just quitting to September to start, and yeah.
And you're not doing your minor in Middelburg or Vlissingen, but in Rotterdam, right?
Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah, I could choose to go to another country if I wanted to, but I'm from Brazil, so for me, being here now, it's already a trip, a long trip. So I choose Rotterdam because otherwise I'll have to move again. So for me, it's kind of tiring. I don't like moving a lot.
And what minor will you be doing?
Innovative supply chain and IT. So it's basically how we improve a supply chain using IT softwares, and yeah.
Cool.
It's really nice.
Well, that's a little bit of an introduction from the both of us. If you got any questions to us, if you want to know more about us, just type them in the chat, and Kayo will interrupt me if you ask a question about me. But I think Kayo, his experience is way more valuable for you guys at this moment. Studying at the HZ and why, I think this can be told by me, but I think Kayo can tell you way more about this. So Kayo, could you please tell me why people would want to study at the HZ?
Well, I think HZ, first of all, it's like an amazing university, and I'm not saying that to just promote. It's because you really feel like in a family, So it's an international university, and so everyone that comes here comes without family, without friends. So everyone is in the same situation. Everyone, it's like alone, and then you get to know each other. So you really create your second family here, and also not only just with students, but with teachers, with everyone. Everyone is open. Everyone is helpful. It's not like as if in like a huge university with too much people, you're not gonna feel the same way. And it's the thing is that you have to come to feel, the sensation, the climate is really nice.
Yeah, so second family, and I think the surroundings here, they are pretty safe. We have small towns here, so it's not like really big cities, but they're pretty small cities. Where we are at is about 2 hours from Amsterdam. We just talked about it because Caio is in Rotterdam. If you go by car, that's only like 1 hour and 20 minutes. But if you go by train, it's like 1 hour and 40 to 50 minutes. But we're also close to Brussels, to Cologne. And we have 2 locations. So we've got one in Flushing, Vlissingen in Dutch, and we've got one in Middelburg. And the education is located in Middelburg, which is not directly at the coast, but Flushing is. And Flushing is only 5 kilometers away from Middelburg. So you can easily go there, go to the beach, enjoy the summer, even work. Caio, you've been working in Middelburg quite a while now, right?
Yeah, I've been working there for almost a year in one company, in a logistics company. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to quit because now I'm in another city. But it's if you want to find work around there, is like really easy because everyone's looking for students to work, and
Yeah, so that's nice. But let's not talk about work too much, but let's just talk about the study. So these are the 2 buildings. Caio, I'm really curious, which one do you like best? Because you've been in both, right? You
yeah.
had education in both.
For me, I think it's the one in Vlissingen is the one where everything started. So I have like a feeling for it,
Yeah.
because it's the one where everything started. Is the one where I did my first snow fight with my classmates, believe it or not. So it was really nice. It was really fun. But the one in Middelburg, it's more technological. Let's say it feels like more in an office, like a big company office. It's really structured as an office from a company, so it's really, you feel good there. So
Yeah.
it's really nice.
So you have better memories from Flushing because
Yeah.
started, and now in Middelburg. I must say I really love Middelburg because it's so bright. There's a lot of white in it, so I really like the building, and that's where the current education program is. So if you come study with us, you will be in Middelburg most of the time. It does happen that some of the times that you have to go to Flushing for something, but in general, you will be joining us in Middelburg. Now, I'm just going to give you some facts and figures so you've got a little bit of an idea what studying at the HZ is like. We have not so many students. We've got around 5,000 students every year, and about 10% of that is international students. So you will hear a lot of foreign languages when you walk over the hallways. We've got quite a few programs in English. We've got 8 programs in English. I'll cover them later on. So if you've got interest in multiple programs, it might be interesting to look into that as well. And we've got 24 bachelor programs in total. So we've got pretty much options for a little university. And that it's little is actually an advantage because we as teachers, we know every student and we really get to know you. So it's not that you're a number to us, but we really want you to get to that finish line and walk out there with your degree. And for me personally, that's one of the biggest advantages of the HZ University, that I really have time to have that chat with students, that I know what's going on, and that I really get to know them. For me as a teacher, that's incredible. Yeah, so 68% of the people who graduate have a job pretty fast after graduation, and 27% continue with a master. So when you have your bachelor degree, you can continue your study with a master degree if you want to. We have 64 partner universities worldwide, and you already heard Kayo tell you that he could go abroad again for his minor. So when you do, one of those partner universities might be a good option. And then 20% of our staff is international. We have some international staff within our educational program as well. So we have multiple languages that we can talk to you. But for me, it's just English and Dutch. I'm purely Dutch. So my English is okay and I can speak Dutch. But once you start speaking to me in Afrikaans or in Spanish, I'll probably be lost. Yeah, and then the degrees of the teaching staff, 78% has a master's degree, 18% with a PhD. For me myself, I'm working on my master's degree, so I'm as well a student as a teacher at the moment. And what I really love about what we've accomplished, we only exist for 3 years, our program, and we've been in the top of the Dutch universities with our educational program. And the university itself is in the top of the medium universities in the Netherlands as well. So when we say we're a good education, it's not just that we say it, but if you look at the Dutch ranking, we actually rank pretty well. So yeah, I like to brag about that a little bit. Yeah, so the other study programs that we have in English, chemistry, civil engineering, international business, logistics, industrial engineering and management, that's us. And then we've got tourism management and water management. So if you want to learn anything about other programs, I cannot tell you a lot about them in depth, but I might be able to answer some questions. And we also have Florence here. She's from the international office and she might be able to answer some questions as well on these topics, but also on housing. We'll get to that later on at the end of the presentation. So hold your horses there. We'll cover that. And then welcome to industrial engineering and management, because that's why we are here tonight. That's what we want to talk about tonight. This is the introduction week of last year. And obviously, in the current situation, we don't know how the introduction week will look like yet. So far, we always went to ArcelorMittal, which is a big metal factory in Germany, I want to say in Ghent, in Belgium. But due to the current situation with COVID-19, we will have to probably reshuffle the program a little bit. However, we do want to have a really good introduction week so we can get to know each other. We're working on that. So it's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be fun. And what you see here is one of the international students smiling at you because it's really interesting to see these companies. And during the study, we do try to get you at many companies with excursions, but also with company stays. And I'll get back to that later on. Before I get there, what is industrial engineering and management? For many people, it's a little bit vague because it's not purely a technical study and it's not purely a management study, but we cover both technical aspects as well as economical aspects as management subjects. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, but it's a mix and it's really intertwined. And Kayo, maybe you can tell a little bit about how that is for you during the program so far.
It's really nice because you learn about a little bit about everything. So from health and safety until health and safety, project management, all those managerial subjects, until sustainability, social corporate responsibility, which I'm having at the moment with Ruth, actually. So it's really nice because because after that you can work like there's no exact place where you can work. You can work in many different types of places because it's pretty open. You know, you're not closed. Like, for example, I really enjoy airplanes, but I don't want to be a pilot. But I can work for example, KLM, and stay close to the things I like. Sulema, also our health and safety teacher and organizational behavior teacher. She worked at the Volvo cars, so it's also another thing which I will be like amazed to work with cars because I like cars. So yeah, it's
Hi, do
pretty
you
nice.
also like trains or not? Because I worked with trains.
Who, me? If I like trains?
Yeah, if you like trains.
Oh yeah. Oh, if you like train, yeah,
Yeah.
you can like if you like horses, you can work in a farm managing the horses, you know, and do statistics about how long they will live and stuff like that. So it's pretty open field.
Yeah, so to cut it short, basically you'll be learning a lot about a lot of subjects, but you will not become a specialist unless, obviously, after your education you start working. I was just mentioning trains because I've been working in the railway branch for quite a while, and I know quite a bit about trains by now. So you don't become the absolute expert. I would not be able to design a train, but I do know my stuff about railroads. So I think when you start working, you can specialize a little bit more. And obviously, during your minor, your internship, you'll specialize. But the subjects are pretty general. And we've mainly covered the management and the economic subjects so far. But we also have quite a few technical topics. And I'll get back to that in a bit. So what are you going to learn? In the Netherlands, we have a body of knowledge and skills, and this is the same for all industrial engineering and management programs in the Netherlands. So within every program, you will learn about accounting and business economics, about change management, about information systems, marketing, operational and chain management, about organizational theory, which Kayo just mentioned, research skills and statistics, definitely statistics. You'll learn social skills, not saying that you don't have them yet, but you will learn a little bit more about the knowledge behind it. And obviously, you'll also be learning about technique and technology. So all these subjects will be covered within the educational program. And then if you look at the competence development, if we look at the technical part, this is just an example on your screen right now. So you will start with physics and mathematics in the first year. And those are the first two blocks. So it's the first half year. And what you will do is after you learn the basics of your mathematics and your physics, you can go on to material selections. And you'll learn a little bit about that. So you can go on then to functional equipment requirements. And once you get the hang of that, you can actually go to integrated process design, taking all these elements that you've learned before into account and actually build upon that knowledge. And this is just one of the examples of the technical courses. And these are actually courses that you will get all over the first 2 years. And then when you do your minor, when you do your internship, you'll learn more within the company, within the minor. And then in the fourth year, you'll build upon that knowledge even further. So this is just an example of how it might look like. And you might have had mathematics before, but what we do with mathematics here is that we just make sure that everyone is on the same level. So it's good to know that if you struggle with mathematics, we'll get you to that level really quick. So you'll have to work hard. And if you're really acquainted with mathematics already, if it's easy peasy for you, you'll just have an easy go. Or you can even get an exemption maybe. And then the timetable. Kayo, does this look still familiar for you a little bit?
Except from Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
But all the others, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
finance, yeah, oh yeah, this is from the first year.
Yeah, it is. It is. So this is actually a timetable, which could be your timetable in the first year. And then you see on Monday, first a meeting with an individual coach. Then you have the project quality management, which is actually going to be a class. Then you have material sciences. So quite an extensive portion of material science on Monday. Then on Wednesday, again, the project class. You've got English class, communication skills, and then on Friday, finance. So this is how your roster might look like. Then you see on Tuesday and Thursday, we have assignments at a host company. And so far, all the students went to companies 2 days a week, doing assignments that they got at the educational program. So on Monday, you'll get your assignments. On Tuesday, you go to the company, do the assignments. On Wednesday, you come back to school and you learn a little bit more about the assignments. You get some feedback on them. And then on Thursday, you can go back to the company to learn more about it. Obviously, in the current situation, we cannot guarantee a start at the company up from the beginning of the school year, but we are working together with the company still, so there will be options to work together with companies up from the first block. So that's good to know, I think. And Kayo, you've been doing quite a few of these company stays. How did you experience that?
It's the chance of you change companies every semester, because every semester you're going to another company, and it's really nice because there's different companies, so you see different processes going on, and all the subjects we learn, we can apply to any process we see. For example, my first company was in a architectural company, which is not the most common, but even though it's not like a industrial process, there is a process inside. It's harder for you to see, but as soon as you open your mind a bit, you're gonna say, "Oh, there is a process." But and this goes again with the thing I said, that it's a broad subject, it's a broad field, because so at the end you see different. So far I've been to Horizon, which is the architectural company. Then I've been to Prince, which is a company that they do plastic piping for gas and seals. And now, at the moment, we're not going at the company anymore due to the Corona situation. But I was at Herema, which is a company that does jackets for oil platforms. So you can see that from a company that does plastic piping for another one that does jackets. It's, you can see the difference, and you can really see how the machinery is different, but the process, it's really related to each other. All the basics are the same from one another, so it's really nice.
Yeah, so that's cool. And the company that you see here on the photo, that is Lamp Weston.
Yeah.
And that's where they make fries for companies like McDonald's worldwide. So it's not just here in the Netherlands, but they make fries for companies all over the world, like McDonald's, like I think also Kentucky Fried Chicken, Burger King, I'm not sure. But basically all the fries that you're going to eat in the Netherlands, they are probably produced here. And you're going to learn a lot about these companies during your study. We have a really good link and good relations with the company. So we are already talking about how to deal with the next year. And there are already some outlooks on still cooperating, maybe in a different way, but we will figure that out for next school year. And yeah, you already heard some of the company names. Prince, you've heard already. Hirima, you've heard. Lamp Weston. We also have on top Metalloterm, who's working with metal. Smartbox, they're doing the containers on trucks. So a lot of different companies. Transeo is a chemical company. Dragon Plastics is a plastic company. And these are all companies that we work with in over the years, and they change. So sometimes we've got new companies, sometimes a company is too busy with a transition or a change within the company, and then they don't have time for us. But in general, we have quite a few companies at our disposal where students can actually go and learn in real life, which is way more useful than in the classroom. And we're not only working with companies, but as I said on the Wednesday, you get back to school and we give you feedback. And one of the things that we learn you is learning strategies. And Kai, I'm really curious, do you still remember these?
Yeah, I do. I was looking at them and then I was, I know it from somewhere.
Do you still use them?
Yes and no.
Which one do you use?
I think more, I like concrete examples, I think, because I'm more like a guy that wants to see, instead of.
Can you explain how that one works, maybe?
Sorry, I don't truly remember because it was
Well,
my first year.
yeah, it's quite a while because for you it's like 3 years ago almost.
Yeah. I took a year gap, if you guys don't know. So I did my whole first year and then I stopped for a year. So that's why I can have this excuse.
Yeah, you have a very good excuse.
Yeah.
So I accept it. The concrete examples is when you learn a theory. Let's say you're learning a theory about change management. The surroundings are changing. In this situation, let's say hypothetically it's COVID-19, and you have to change the process of a company. And then you're learning a theory about how to help people make that transition from going to the office every day to not going to the office every day. And you'll learn a model for that, you'll learn steps for that. And then with every step, what you can do is think about a real life situation where it would be applicable. So the first step could be, okay, we have to communicate about what the new situation will be. And then you go like, okay, we've got COVID-19, we have this company, people used to go to the company and now they're not going there anymore. We have to communicate that. And in this way, you go through all those steps and you make an example with every step of that process. And then you start to understand the process better, but you'll also remember it better. So probably when you have change management within a few years, and I'm going to talk about how important communication is with change management, you might think about this example again because we've already discussed it. And so we have 6 learning strategies. And during the Wednesday classes, we're just going to go over them so you learn a little bit more about how to learn. And it sounds funny that when you go to school, you learn how to learn. But like said, we want you to get that degree at the end. So we're not only focusing on putting all the theories in your head or teaching you how to use them, but we also want to help you with making studying a little bit easier. And I think we do a pretty good job. What do you think, Kayo?
Yes. I
Right.
I have to be no, okay. No, but all the teachers, all the teachers are really nice. There is gonna be times, not here at HZ, but any university, where you just say, "Oh, I hate this teacher," but at the end, you really see that what they wanna do is you to learn well what they want. So you're actually at the key end. You realize that you're really lucky to have this teacher with you. So yeah.
So enough about that. Let's go back to what are you going to learn. In the first 2 years, you're going to acquire skills and learn concepts, just like a process, which I told you about change management. And you're going to apply the acquired skills and knowledge in real life projects, which is at the companies. And then over the course of time, we're going to increase the complexity. So in the beginning, you're just going to describe things. And then more and more, you're going to give advice. You're going to explore things. You're going to make it more difficult until you actually start designing and redesigning processes. So the difficulty will increase over the course of the program. Now, if you look at the first year, you get an introduction to what is processes. You get asset and maintenance management in your project, in your second project. You'll get quality management, and you will learn all about operational excellence. And then during the courses, this is just an example of courses. So don't think that this is all that you're going to get, because there's way more. We've got statistics and research skills. We've got mathematics. We already talked about that. We've got finance and investment analysis, operations management, communication skills, project management, English. You'll have English for 2 years long. And even if you're an English speaker, you will learn new things, because we don't do just English, but it's English for industrial engineering and management. So I think it's quite useful to help you understand other courses as well. And then when you go to the second year, Kayo, I think you can tell a little bit more about this, because you're just finishing up the second year. What were the projects of the second year?
Then I would really go deep in how to design, how to create a process from scratch. And this includes everything that we learn from project management, because you have to do, a timeline, which all the steps you're gonna have to create your project, including costs, people, and material, everything. So you're basically gonna apply all the concepts you learn in the first year here on the second year. And of course, we're still gonna have English and other subjects, including material design and engineering. Is also gonna can fit in really nice with project design, because sometimes you have the piece which you have to engineer it specifically for that project. And innovation, of course, because if you're creating a new process, you want it to be as efficient as possible and as innovative as possible, and also as sustainable as possible. So we also have sustainability. When we do learn a little bit of marketing, but it's not like as if we're going to learn everything from marketing. We just get like a glimpse of how it works, how we should treat it. It really opens your mind. At the end of it, you also use some stuff for your own life, so it's really nice. I plan a lot of stuff. This is
What do you use from marketing for your own life, Kayo? I'm really curious about that.
When you have an interview with someone in a company, it's the first thing is all about the first impression. So you basically have to sell yourself, sell your skills. Mm-hmm. And this is done by your resume, your curriculum. You have to show that you're good, if you're good, because you can't lie on that. And the first impression, when you see someone, when you first meet someone, you have to really know what you're talking. Otherwise, the person, your interviewee, I don't know if it's one or another, he's gonna say, well, he doesn't know anything, so why he's doing it? And it's really, of course, it's not using the concept, the total concepts or marketing and everything, but it's a way to see it. But what I think is cool is now when I see some advertisement, I can recognize which type of strategy they are using. So it's really nice because, oh, that's guerrilla marketing, you know, or this is content marketing. You can really, I mean, I don't know. I enjoy that, like seeing things and try to see if I know what it is. So it's I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I
So
use it. Yeah.
you actually put all the knowledge that you learn in school into practice in reality in your own life already at the same time. So that's good.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important part about education, is that you can actually use it. That's what we try. So it's good to hear. So yeah, and then when you finish the first 2 years, you go on to the third year. This is basically where Caio is at the moment. He's going for his minor in Rotterdam. And after that, he's going to do an internship. And the minor is a free choice, so you can go anywhere in the world. Obviously, it's easier if you go to a program where we have relation with, and you can also go to an HZ minor if you just want to stay here, or like Kayo does, go to Rotterdam, stay in the Netherlands. But you can also go to other places, to Scandinavia, for instance, or maybe to Turkey or Hungary. So you've got some options there. And then with your internship, you can go anywhere again. So if you want to go back home and do your internship at a company in your home country, that's an option. If you want to stay in the Netherlands, that's an option. If you want to explore more countries or cities, you can go anywhere. Most important thing is that you actually put your skills and your knowledge to practice in that internship. So you actually get to grow your personality and to grow your professional self. And then in the fourth year, in the first part, in block 1 and 2, or the first half, what you will do is you have to pick either asset and maintenance management, or you pick sustainability and circular economy. And then you're going to do a project there. But where the first 2 years you have a lot of guidance from the teachers and you learn a lot of concepts, in this last project before your graduation, you have to do it yourself. So there's still a teacher guiding you, but there's less guidance. You will have to learn the concepts yourself, and the level will be higher. So you will be working on a strategic level, and your end product will be either a business plan or a consultancy report. So you're actually going to work for companies and to create something that they ask you to, with real clients and with real topics. And then comes the last phase. And basically, you're going to do the same thing, only then without any guidance. So that is where you are on your own, and you get to prove that you are worthy of your degree. And that's a very exciting phase. But since you've had so much experience with working at companies and so much guidance on how to become a professional, I am sure by the time that you get there, you'll do just fine. So don't worry too much about that fourth year. The first years are way more important, because that's where you actually set your level, and that's where you set the base upon which you can build your graduation. Yeah, so I think we talked about minor choices quite a bit. These are just some examples of minors that have been chosen by students. So you see that we have people doing bio-based building at the HZ, continuous improvement at Advanced, which is also in the Netherlands, but also energy technology in Finland. Then we've got HZ Amsterdam again. We've got Paris, international management. Istanbul, mechatronics and engineering. And again, Advanced, a lot of Breda, which is pretty close by here. You can do that by train. You could even cycle if you're really sportive. But this is just an overview of minor choices of the last year. And you can go anywhere if you want to. So we already, Kayo, I think we talked about it before we really started, but can you just repeat which minor you are doing in Rotterdam?
Yeah, I'm doing innovative logistics and IT.
Yeah. And what will you be learning in that minor?
I'll be learning how to improve a supply chain using IT technology, mainly softwares, also robots, all that stuff.
Cool. Sounds really interesting. So I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah,
curious. You can teach me when you get back.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I can.
And then, yeah, obviously, like I said, you'll get a lot of coaching during the first years. Every student has a study coach, and in the first year, you will have scheduled hours with the study coach. And then in the second year, third year, fourth year, these hours become less and less and less and less and less. So you have less frequent contact with the coach, but there's always someone who you can go to. So if you've got questions about your study program, even about living in the Netherlands, you can go to your study coach. And if the study coach cannot help you because they are a study coach, but let's say that something happens in your life, you might have difficulties with your family, you might miss home, you might have anything that's going on in your life, then we also have a counselor you can go to. So this is for the more serious cases, but they are there for you as well. And
Mm.
then there's another thing, and I think that's really a cool thing. The students set up this themselves. And Kayo, I don't know, are you a buddy or not?
Uh, I don't know.
You don't know if
I
you
don't
are
know.
a buddy.
I was going to be when
Hmm.
I was in the first year, but then I left for a year, so I don't know now if I am or not.
Okay.
I know I'm from the promoting, and I'm a student ambassador.
Yeah. Do you know anything about the buddy program though?
Yeah, basically we help first years in anything they need, from going out to somewhere nice that they don't know, get to know the city, to a subject they are having trouble with it. So we're buddies. We do everything a friend do.
Yeah, and you're even doing study coaching, right? With studying together, I heard. Is that correct?
What? I'm sorry. What do you mean?
That you actually help each other if a subject or a course is difficult, that you get to
Yeah,
help the other students as well?
yeah, a lot. Actually, in my first year, I used to study a lot with some group mates
Cool.
from class, because especially uh, finance and all this tricky subjects, we tend to study together and correct each other, which is really nice. It helps you to get, oh yeah, I have to do that as well. So it's studying together, studying with someone, and have someone that can help you from other years. It's really nice.
Yeah, so beside the what we do as an educational program, you can get help with the teachers. You can go to your study coach, which is also one of the teachers. You have your counselor, and then you can also go to the other students. And I know from the current first year students, they really are one big family. So whenever something happens, they go to each other, they help each other, and then if they don't know, they go to the teacher. So there's always a way that you can get your support that you need. The teachers are all there for you. So if you've got a question, you can always go to the teachers. And at the same time, if you want to discuss something with someone in the same situation or someone who has been where you are going to be, then there's the buddy system. And the buddy system is just, I think, via WhatsApp, but the buddies can tell you more about it in the introduction week. And you get all this information about, like Kayo said, where to go out, but also how to study, how to approach an exam, and even information on where to buy food and how to get food cheap or maybe even good recipes. So you've got a lot of support there.
Ruth, I don't know if
Yeah,
you want me to say something about it. I don't know if you noticed that.
yeah. I was going
Nicholas,
to.
there.
I was going to tell her that you're here because she was talking. I didn't want to interrupt her, but
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. I was just sitting waiting, and yeah, you just kept going, so I let you have the flow.
Hi, Nicholas. Maybe it's a good idea that you introduce yourself first.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicholas. I'm a first-year student, and yeah, I was just pretty much nodding my head along to what Ruth said earlier about the courses, but as well, like us first year, we are more or less like one big community, and we all know that other always. So if anyone knows how to do it, it's better to ask them and than asking your teacher, ask like your fellow mates. But it's also really important with the study career. Corona, I'm currently stuck in Germany, and I'm not really allowed, like also from my parents' side, not allowed to go back to the Netherlands or traveling by public transport. And so the study career coach is helping me figure out with the exams how. So I think this is very important so that you're not stuck by yourself, but that you have a study career coach who's helping you along the way, which not every university has. So I'm pretty glad to have it.
Yeah, I see now in the chat, because I switched real quick, that your internet connection is indeed a little bit bad, but I think we all got the general idea about what you were saying. Really nice to have you here as well. So if anyone has got a question for Nicholas in the chat, just go ahead and ask him, because he's a first-year student. And he can tell you all about the current experiences, because like said, for Kayo, it's like 3 years ago. And for Nicholas, it's just the current situation. So that's nice. Nicholas, we were just talking about the coaching, but let's continue to the career opportunities. When you have finished your education, obviously you have an image of where you want to go, what you want to become when you grow up. Nicholas, do you already know what you want to do when you are finished with this education?
Well, so far, I think I will want to build up and do a master's degree off of it. Like that, it's not enough to start working afterwards, but I'm pretty sure that I want to keep further educating and learn more. So I was planning on going back to Germany and then doing a master's degree or in business, but I'm pretty sure it's engineering.
Cool. And Kayo,
so those are my.
Thank you. And Kayo, what are you prepared to become when you finish this education?
Honestly, I like all these subjects in this slide, except for entrepreneur. I don't see myself starting something, but I see myself adding value to a company. I really see that. And whenever areas I can help, like operations, production, planning, also supply chain a little bit. I'm not a logistics engineer, but we know how it works now. Asset management, health and safety also. So I can, I'm on heaven here because I can really adapt myself to the company I like the most. You know?
Yeah, so you're
So it's really nice.
going for a company than for a certain job.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That correctly?
I'm gonna look for for a company that I like, I enjoy the culture of it, and yeah, I think it's easier like that.
Cool. And then probably something with airplanes, right?
Or cars,
Or
depending.
cars.
Actually, I'm now with the logistics is also really nice. See all this process because the company I work for in Middelburg is also a logistic company.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know yet. I'm still, figuring out, but it's gonna be with something I will enjoy at the end. So yeah.
Nice. So two completely different outlooks. Like I said in the beginning, many students continue their study with a master, and that's basically what Nicholas is going to do. And Kayo is just starting looking for a company where he will feel comfortable, and there he will grow into any direction that the company gives him. So it's really nice to hear the diversity here already. I have studied industrial engineering and management as well. And like I said before, I have worked at the Dutch railroads. I have also worked at Hirama at the innovation center there. And I also worked in music business. So it can be so diverse. You can go basically anywhere with this degree. And then if you ask what type of companies you can work at, it's just as broad. You can go to industrial enterprises, you can go to commercial enterprises, you can work at governmental bodies or infrastructure, but you can also go to service or utility companies. So you've got all these options, and you can even become a teacher like I did. There's really no limit to what you can do once you finish this degree. The only limit that you set upon yourself is what you set upon yourself. And then if you have a vision, you can study other courses, or you can go to university and you can actually work towards one of these companies or one of these career options that you're looking for. Then a little bit of technical information. When you start studying with us, this is an overview of last year. So there might be a little bit of differences for the upcoming year. But the tuition fees for last year were for EU students around the 2,000 euros. And for non-EU students, it was around the 8,000 euros. Look at the reduction tuition fees for certain countries. So it all depends on where you come from, basically, how much you will have to pay. And then obviously you have your living costs. And I'm really curious, Kayo, do you recognize these amounts a little bit? Is it still realistic?
Yes, it is. And I also want to add that if you come from Europe, you are entitled, as far as I know, you are entitled to housing allowance if you're in a studio, and you're also entitled to health allowance. So you don't pay your health insurance, your basic health insurance here. So it's really nice. A studio without the allowance is around 650 euros, but with the allowance you pay 400, 350. So you have a place just for yourself, and it's cheap. But you can also choose to rent a room in a student house. Mm-hmm. Then you're not being entitled for the allowance, but it's nice. It's cheaper anyway, and it's nice because you have students. You live with students, but yeah, it's this, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good estimation of what everything will cost. If you want to, you can take a photo of the screen right now, so you've got a little bit of an idea what it will cost you to study. And Nicholas, you have been here as well. Do you recognize what Kayo is telling about these costs? Is it realistic for you as well?
Yeah, the cost per room, I think I pay around 450. But the monthly cost for living, for me, it's less than I was actually because now I'm more of cooking at home and not eating out. Mm-hmm. So it's actually saving a lot of money. And for the transportation costs to the companies, there's this, you can fill out a form, and then the university actually gives you back some amount of money. So it's not even that much, but yeah.
Cool. So if anyone wants advice on how to cut costs on living costs, go to Nicholas, because he has recipes for you. Just remember that when you start studying with us. Then how can you find a student room? We have a housing corporation called APV. They've got apartments, single units, so you can see where you want to go. Most of them are within 5 to 10 minutes from the HZ by bike or walking. And you will have internet connection. I think that's the most important part. The furnishment is also fine, but internet connection, you've got it. So when you start studying in the Netherlands, you'll get help with this as well from the buddies, but also from international office. They know their way around, so you can ask them questions about this as well. And then obviously we're gonna see you in September, and to do so you need to obviously subscribe to the program. If you're allowed to do so, you can see at the requirements website. So if you go to this website on the screen, hz.nl/en/practical/information/requirements, that is where you can find if you are actually admissible to the program. And then do pay attention to the language requirements. I think that's the most important thing to note here, because if you're an international student, the language requirements are a little bit higher. Then if you're ready for it, if you can check all the requirements, then you go to StudyLink. And there you pick HZ University of Applied Science. And there you choose Technische Bedrijfskunde, Engelstalig. And that sounds a little bit weird, but this is how the educational program is called in the Netherlands. This is Dutch. So if you find any trouble there, I am sure that either the students, which you can find on the next slides, or international office can help you with how to apply for the educational program if you get a little bit confused here. So don't worry too much about it. Most important thing to remember is Engelstalig, which means English. You can also pick Dutch, but if you do so, you will be both in the part-time education and the language of the course will be Dutch.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. So do keep in mind, Engelstalig, very important. And then we're up to the questions part. So I don't know if there have been any questions in the chat so far.
No, not so far.
Not so far. Oh, so I don't know if there are any questions. Obviously, you can type them in the chat. You are definitely allowed to open up your mic at this point and ask the question, or even put on your webcam. But do keep in mind this session is being recorded, so you will be recorded. And then in the meantime, I can understand if you have questions later on, because we've been talking quite a lot, which was nice. You've got a lot of information, but maybe it all needs to land a little bit. So you need a little bit of time before you have your questions.
I'm going to leave my email here. I noticed that I'm not in this slide, but I'm also a student ambassador. So I'm just going to leave my email here in case you guys have any questions. I will be glad to answer.
Yeah, so you can copy paste Caio, his email address from the chat. You can also go to hz.nl/en/ambassadors. And there you will find a lot of our students, such as André, Shaline, or Andres. Best way now is just pick up your phone and make a photo of the screen, or copy paste Caio, his email address. And maybe Nicholas, you can do the same. So if you want to, the students that are here now can contact you as well. We've got more students. We've got Omani and Jay and Dunya and Alexander. You can also contact them. And as you can see, they're all from different countries. So we've got St. Martin, we've got France, we've got Morocco, we've got Mexico. So if you see any country where you feel comfortable with, or maybe you speak the same language, it might be easier to talk to these students. But if you want to ask questions to a teacher, I think some of you already met Salema Bayosso. She is the first year study coach, and she is also doing a lot of work with the prospective students. So you can always contact her. And another option, if you want to, you can also contact me. We didn't really speak a lot together, but you've been listening to me for about an hour now, so you might feel comfortable asking your questions to me as well. And honestly, you can ask us anything. We just want to help you make a good study choice. We're not here to sell the university, though we are proud of what we do. Most important thing for us is that when you come here, you feel comfortable with your choice and that you will have the feeling that you made the correct choice, because that has the biggest chance of success and getting that actual degree.
Yeah, we have a question from the Eddie. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And the question is, how will the program be going due to the COVID, and if will be changed or delayed? From the current perspective as a student, we're now having online classes. Some exams will be online. Some they are postponed to June, which then we hope we're gonna be able to go to HZ and do the exams. But after that, I don't know, and then it's Ruth.
Yeah, I can tell a little bit about it. In general, most of the courses will be adapted in such a way that we can either teach them online or at location. So teaching will go on. We do have activities planned where we will meet up because we are allowed to go outside and we do like to actually see people. So it might be different from before. We won't be in the classroom with the entire class, maybe, or maybe we are not even going into the classroom. Maybe we're just going outside. But we are going to teach classes. All the courses will take place. And at the same time, like I said in the beginning, we also will have the contact with the companies. So a lot of that is still going on. For the exams, a lot of exams that you will take are actually reports. So many of the exams will just continue the way they were. For some courses, and these are mainly the technical courses, you will have to actually sit down, do calculations, actually like reproduce your knowledge and skills. Those exams we will set up in a physical way, and it is really hard to look into that glass ball to see how that will continue. But as Kayo says, up from half June, we will start with that. So we will see how that goes.
We have another question from the same person. I think he or she, I'm sorry about your name, had a problem with their connection, and they couldn't hear anything since 25 minutes ago. It asks about practical stuff, so I think I can answer that. Well, until March, everything was going normally, and then we had the virus around, so the Dutch government closed all the colleges and universities and everything basically. So then we as students and teachers, we had to adapt fast to another way, which is the online way. As I said, some of the exams will be online because we still not allowed to go to the universities. So exams that doesn't involve calculations, they're gonna be online. I'll have an exam which does include calculations. So then his exam, it's postponed until June. We don't know exactly which date, but After June, the Dutch government will probably relieve us a little bit from the restrictions. So then we're going to be able to go to the university. We didn't have the internship because the companies they told us also to not to go there because they only needed essential personnel there. So we're not essential there, and we don't want to contaminate their workers. And yeah, but we are still in contact with them via email. So every question we have regarding their processes, we are still in contact with them. Actually, I had the company meeting with the company I am now, like half an hour, and my group, we got some questions regarding their process, and they helped us as if we were there. So yeah, but it's not gonna be like this forever. So it's just this semester that was a little bit stranger than others. But as Ruth said, as soon as the restrictions go lower, everything will be back to normal.
Well, back to normal.
Yeah, I
As
mean,
normal as we
back
can.
to normal.
To add to what you said, we already had students who were on their half-year internship, and with them, it basically depended on the company what happened. So we have had students who could finish their internship. We had students who could do some assignments at other places. So in general, what happens in this situation within industrial engineering and management, we are looking for solutions. That's what we do. We are looking for solutions, for improvements. That's what the entire course is about. Innovation, change management. So what do we do as teachers? What do we do as a program? And what do the students do? We're all in it together. So together we find the best possible solution. So far, I think it's a little bit more pressure on the students for this last block because some exams will be at the end of the school year, which should have been done a few months back. But besides that, there won't be too many study delays. So we've managed pretty well, and now we already know a little bit more about what we can do for next year. We are already preparing the courses to be a little bit more hybrid, so we can do them online, we can do them offline, we can do them with a few meetings or with more meetings. But we are definitely trying to get as many meetings as we can because that's, well, actually a better learning environment. And I think with what we experience now, both Nicholas and Kayo can say the same, that it's nicer to be together with each other. But it's going to be more hybrid, and we're ready for that. So don't fear the changes, but adapt. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So I hope, Daddy, that this answers your question. If not, just let me know. And a good thing, your internet connection was a little bit bad, but we recorded this session. So if you contact us, we can make sure that you get the link to the recording. So you can actually look back all the information. And if you then still have questions, feel free to contact us again, because that's what we are here for. So good questions.